Yeah, when you guys were talking actually about what these movies made and what they cost, there's some interesting filings that came out as a result of a Forbes article, which was extremely long, but the gist of it was summarized in this little table here that gives us like the breakdown of what each of the Disney Star Wars movies cost, the tax rebates that they got because they were mostly filmed in the UK, as I believe, which is great in some ways because they get a lot of their money back in terms of tax rebates from the government, but they also have to declare everything that they spent, so they can't do your typical Hollywood accounting. They have to do the correct British accounting, and this is what we got here, right? So we can see from this is wild. Force Awakens sitting at 639 million. With a tax rebate of 103, so that's great, but it's still 535 million. But it's fine because they did make 2 billion at the box office. So
yeah,
Dringer, help me out. How is this not completely blackpilling for all the people who are like, "No, I trust Hollywood on everything they say about the budgets. I trust them completely."
It can, yeah. What you get in terms of like what the studios officially divulge and the actual reality is so wildly different. It's not even funny. It's just tragic, and that's, I don't know, man. Like, you just think, how does it take $600 million to make a movie, even one that's VFX heavy? How can it possibly cost that much? You didn't spend it on the actors, that's for sure. Like Force Awakens, like pretty much everyone in it was unknown. Yeah, okay, Harrison Ford would have cost a fair bit, but like that's the only one, really. It's not like fucking Carrie Fisher was doing much at that point. And all the others were just young, up-and-coming actors.
It's hard over half. Like, I don't think any of us can get our heads around spending that amount of money in that amount of time, like where it's going. Like, to actually, I want a documentary on this. I want to see where the money's going in real time.
So imagine the catering, man. It must have been incredible.
Best of the best. For reference, you could have made 42.5 Godzilla minus ones for the cost of The Force Awakens.
Well, yeah, that would probably be better. Yeah,
These are all the net spending amounts without the marketing included too, though, right?
Yes,
those first three I remember had a lot of marketing, but like you couldn't go anywhere without seeing advertising for those first three movies on that list.
Yes, and so you have to assume the marketing was at least another 50% of what the production budget was, if not more in some cases. But yeah, even then. So what have we got here?
But that causes a lot of problems when you start seeing more of them starting to lose money. When you start putting in the budgeting, like that puts Rise of Skywalker into the red or the black or however you want to say.
Well, yeah, because even this is marginal at best, right? Like you've got a return on investment of just under 10%. So it cost close to 600 million to make. They got 100 million tax credit, so it's still about close to 500 million net spend. When you factor in like they only get 50% of the box office, they made a profit of like 50 million. Now, I'm sorry, right? If I had invested almost 600 million on a total gamble and I got 50 million back, I would not be a happy man. You'd be better just putting that in a high interest savings account. You get more from it.
I'm not an accounting expert by any means. So if there's an accounting expert in the chat, or if one of you guys know about this, definitely let me know. But I am curious because when you have expenses, say on one of the first earlier movies, and you build these sets out that you can use multiple times over different movies, do you think that they're playing like shift the money around business, where they're like taking some of the costs or overrides that they've had in an earlier movie and kind of pushing them into the future into some of these other films, which is driving up some of the costs? I mean, I don't understand, looking at this, why some of those later films are double the cost to make and not better. They're worse. I don't know where the money went. It just doesn't make sense.
It's funny, the amount of people in chat who are just like, dude, it's a fucking money laundering scam. Just accept it. It's like,
stop trying to work it out.
It's not that deep. Like, yeah, they're just.
This is why I love your channel. You guys.
I just say, by the way, Alien comes to Earth and learns about the history of Earth up to 2012, where Disney buy Star Wars, and then they say the first movie's coming out in 2015. You say to the alien, with everything you know, how many years do you think they'll take to make Star Wars unprofitable? They'd be like, I don't know, 10, maybe 15. You're like 3.
Yeah. That's always ahead of the curve. I mean, the most damning one is obviously Solo, where you've got like a total cost of 365 million. Ended up losing 100 million for the studio, which, it's not a great movie. I would put a lot of the blame though on the failure of the actual mainline trilogy, contributing to like the complete lack of interest in Solo, because this came out right on the heels of Last Jedi, didn't it?
I think it was a misunderstanding as well, though. Like, as people asked at the time, was anyone looking for a Han Solo origin story? It was just like, not really.
Especially when he's meant to be younger, and he looks about a year younger than Harrison Ford.
Well, and they have
the
do all the cringy things. Like, do you ever wonder how he got his iconic gun and his iconic name, and his iconic? And you're just like, can you calm down, sit down, please?
Yeah, stop trying to fill in all the gaps. The gaps are what are making it interesting. God. But
the filling of the gaps is a weird phenomenon that's going on at the moment, and the new fans seem to love it. They want answers to everything, and like you said, it's the gaps that make it interesting. It's the not knowing the whole universe and answers to everything. Right. That's what your imagination goes into, especially when you're a kid, and they want to fill all that in. It's a weird move. It's
all predicated on the realization that generations that are up and coming now have no imagination because they've never had to use it. Because like they live in a world of constant stimulus, like where they don't really like, they've got like the best possible graphics you can get in video games. They've got movies with like all the visual effects under the sun. They've got constant stimulation from like TikTok, from Instagram, from like a million different social media platforms. They don't have to use imagination anymore because it's all laid out in front of them, and anything they can conceive to look for, it's all there. And so it makes sense that like they don't value the ability to have headcanon and to fill in those gaps themselves because they don't have the ability to do it. They've never lived in a world where that was even required. So I can see why this appeals to them, but for anyone else, like anyone who's, I don't know, probably over 25, it's horrifying because one, you don't want it, and two, you're seeing these franchises that you enjoyed the mystery of and the characters that you enjoyed their mystique just get completely strip mined. That's all they do. They strip mine anything that's got like a tiny bit of material they can exploit, and then they just mine it out and then move on to the next thing. It is wild what they do, but like that seems to be their business strategy now.
Yeah.
And Aaron, I think you're right, Aaron. Looking at the money, there's no way The Rise of Skywalker was like twice more than. They must be moving money from those other films to the final film.
They have to be moving money. I mean, I've seen it happen in other things, so it's just I just have this gut feeling they're moving money around to make certain things more profitable, thinking that they can push off those expenses and adjust the balance sheets as they go. But you know what? Maybe they should just think about the fucking story a little more and just write the story. Like,
I think we're probably all in agreement here that like, okay, you expect a certain level of like action and stuff with a Star Wars movie, but we would probably value $100 million Star Wars movie that had superb writing over this popcorn garbage that's just empty nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine going to a movie studio and then them saying like, oh, so Drinker, like, what do you reckon it's going to take to make a good Star Wars movie? You've got your script ready to go. Cool. About 600 million should do the trick.
Yeah. It only takes 100 to do the thing.
Look on security. Like, get this guy out of here.
You have that look on your face like, am I getting away with this?
To be absolutely clear here, Drinker just rounded down an additional 40 million. Like, that was just casually, it was, I don't need to include the 40 million.
Yeah. Look, that beachfront condo in Hawaii is not going to pay for itself, man. Like, what can I say?